if you're understanding that you need water, you need minerals, now some of you may be wondering, how does this work? How does this actually apply? And I want you to get another visual, because again, your body, like every cell of your body is literally a battery. The more conductive that you are, the more that you're going to be able to use that energy. So if you're feeling drained, if you're feeling a little fatigued, this is basically the first thing that I start to look for. It's like, do you drink enough water? Do you have minerals, right? Because now you start to feel and see what that does for you. So here's another video that shows you what minerals are doing for you.
This is just the salt, okay? And we're gonna just show you how putting some salt in here, okay? You'll see the light bulb. Once I start to go ahead and get some conductivity, and remember, salt is not the best unless it's got a lot of magnesium. Okay, you can see I got to put in quite a bit of drops. There we go, okay? There's not that much conductivity there, okay? But remember, what is your body made out of? Salt water. Okay, when you get in trouble and you call the ambulance, do they give you distilled water? Do they give you purified water in your IV? No, they give you salt water. Okay, so this only lights this up, and you can see it's smoking pretty good because it's got conductivity. What we're going to add to this to make it super conductive is magnesium minerals. Just spread it in here. And magnesium minerals are highly conductive because magnesium is one of the main conductors in your body. And you're going to see in a second here how just a few drops of magnesium now, changes the light bulb. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And you can see magnesium is way stronger. Okay. As I keep on putting more and more and more, okay? Okay, and this is why we're going to add magnesium to the salt, because otherwise salt's weak. So if the lights the light bulb up, what do you think it does to your food?
Okay, so hopefully with this, you have a much better understanding of, why minerals, why water. But now I want to start to break this down in a different way that I know I've shared in the past, but, based on what I've been seeing as far as, questions that I've been getting and people that I've been working with, this is basically where I think there's a little bit of lack of knowledge. But basically, I always go back to this analogy that really helped me understand my gut health and how all of this works. Because when you look at the health of a tree, you look at the health of our bodies, our gut health is literally like the root system of a tree. 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. It lives at the root of the tree. So if you ask yourself, okay, how does your body actually grow? How do you regenerate? Right, so I have here this book, Regenerate. There's a couple things that you can see. There's a lot of things that nature can teach you. You have like that spiral shape, that Fibonacci, which you see it in, pretty much a lot of things in nature, right? This is a pine cone and it has that same effect. And that's because water is a lot more than just H2O. There's a structure to water. It actually contains information. And now this is a little bit advanced, but hear me out, because when you look at how a tree grows, what do you need for this to grow, right? This literally starts out as a little seed. This is where to be an apple tree, you take a seed from an apple, you plant that, and as long as that soil has good quality water, minerals, proper pH, which, again, if you go watch that video on brewing beer, you can hear me say that I'm checking for pH, and there's a reason for it. Is because all of these little things need to be in the proper range for growth, right? So proper water, minerals, pH, temperature. This is what creates an environment for bacteria, which will be probiotics, to grow. And the only other thing that will be missing here is basically sunshine, which is basically vitamin D. This is literally the formula to get more energy, is water, minerals, proper pH, temperature, and vitamin D. When I was looking into this is basically where I started to realize that, okay, if I don't drink enough water, what happens is that if I eat some sort of protein, that protein will go into my body, but it won't be digested. And what happens when you don't break down protein into amino acids, if you look at that same chain analogy for starch, protein is nothing more than a chain of amino acids. You break that down into smaller components until you get to a single amino acid. That amino acid is what the body uses to produce things like hormones. So it's to me, no surprise that someone that has digestive issues, who can't digest protein, that they cannot get amino acids, it's the reason why they can produce hormones like melatonin. If you can't produce melatonin, you can't fall asleep. You can't stay asleep. If you cannot break down protein into amino acids, that's what your body uses to build protein. That's what the body uses to build things like hair, nails, skin. So again, it's no wonder, it's no surprise to me that someone who can't digest protein, that they're losing their hair, that their skin is super dry, their nails are brittle. Not only that, but amino acids, there's a lot of other hormones like serotonin, dopamine, which are your feel-good, happy hormones. Without those hormones, you start to feel depressed, anxiety. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen, but even thyroid hormone, right? Your thyroid produces T4, or maybe you're taking T4 hormones, and just because you have T4 hormones, it doesn't mean that your body can actually use the hormone, because the active form of the thyroid hormone that you need is actually T3, and that's produced in the liver. And in order for your liver to convert thyroid hormone T4 into T3, you need amino acids. So digestion to me became the most important thing, because I started to understand why my hair was falling off, why I had brain fog, why I had anxiety, why I couldn't fall asleep. All of these things just made sense to me, to the point where for me to do the things that I do when it comes to diet, Beer Diet Project is what I call it, because I learned about this from brewing beer. To me, this diet isn't about, oh, let me come up with, I don't know, a smoothie recipe or a breakfast sandwich recipe. Or it wasn't about that. My diet is literally a recipe designed to grow probiotics in your gut. That's what my diet is about. And to me, when I started to understand this, and I was going to doctors and no doctor was able to help me, I started to understand more and more about this. I started to realize that there's a lot of people, both health professionals and non-health professionals, who don't understand gut health. Because to me, how can you maintain a healthy gut if you don't know how to grow probiotics? It doesn't make sense to me that someone can say that they understand gut health if they don't know how to grow probiotics. And this is the kind of information that you need to learn and understand if you want to learn how to grow probiotics in your gut, because you need to not only understand what is the food source that these probiotics need, you need to understand what is the environment that needs to be created for these probiotics to grow and thrive.